So that's that. This is quite a long tutorial. This is probably into the second or third video by now, actually. So I'm going to be pretty quick now. Next thing I'm going to show you how to do is link it into the world. But before we do that, we want to get into this place to test it out. And there's one thing you are certainly going to need to do that. So if we go into the filter and you want to type in X marker, and as you can see, as long as you're selected in all, we've got some marker headings here. I've actually typed it in wrong. What we want is a COC marker. So you want COC marker heading. Now if you drag and drop this in, this is different to most of the markers. Most of them are usually like blue or red. Sorry, most of them are red. This one is blue. And you want to place this somewhere within your cell. Basically, when you use the COC command to come and test any of your mods that you've made before you've linked them into the world, you just want a quick route there. This is where you will be dropped off. So this is where you'll appear. So the way this usually happens, if you haven't put a COC marker heading in, is the game will just spawn you on the last thing you place in your home or edited. So if you just put like a chandelier on the roof, you'll probably spawn off the chandelier and drop down to the floor. So this just saves a lot of trouble. This puts you exactly where you want to be. So if we just put that next to the fireplace, and then you'll just appear there. So next thing you want to do, you want to link this to the outside world. But to do that, we're going to need a location for our house to actually be. Excuse me a sec. We need somewhere for the house to be. So, just for starters, we're just going to save this now. So if we just save it and call it test mod. And next thing we want to do is, I know one place where I usually put my house. So we want to just go into the world of Tamriel now. World space Tamriel. And we want to actually put our house there and then link it to here. So you'd need to find somewhere in the world where your house is going to be first. There's one easy place where I usually put my house, and that's Riverwood. I'm just going to put this where I've put Vaden's house, just to make things easier. And you want to just double click on that cell. Then load. I've just gone to Riverwood, and then I'll navigate from here. I'm going to go up here, I think it is. I don't actually recognise it anymore. Yeah. This, if you've played my followers pack, is where I put Vaden's house. And all I've done is I actually just got rid of this tree, opened up a space, and then started changing things. So I'm just going to put my house up here now. We're going to need a house, and as I said earlier, we need a house that's going to be pretty much the shape of what we've created inside. Otherwise it'd be a bit like a Doctor Who thing. You'd walk into a police box, and as you enter the inside, it would be just this gigantic freaking space, and it wouldn't make any sense. That's great for Doctor Who, but we don't want that in Skyrim. So I've actually purposefully built my house in the shape of one that's on here. So I think it's static. Farmhouse. Oh, this is where I'm going to make a right cock for this, as I have no idea where it is. Yeah, we want to wipe the filter. And it's at, yeah, that's it. It's just like farmhouse and then a number after it. So these are full farmhouses, as you can see. Now, ours isn't really that big, because if we pull it up, that's a little too large. Or it might actually be okay. Farmhouse 2. Some of them have got all this round them, so you want to shape your indoor like the outdoor if you can. Actually, the first one we picked might be the best. Yep, they're just getting really large, and you can go crazy. But I'm just going to select then. I'm just going to select number 1, because this is best shaped like our house, as you can see. The basement down there, though, that will embed into the ground. And we've got the 2 windows at the sides. So if we just take off the snap so we can move this about a bit better, then push it up. So there we go, we've got our home. There's a bit of a big step there, but that should be okay. So you can do all sorts, you can put steps in, you can build a garden, you can actually find a better location than this. Now what you want to do when you found your spot, you'll see here in the cell view it says Y for loaded, and that's yes. So you've got to figure out, it should be one of these coordinates that you've got loaded. And when you've figured out what the coordinates is that you've got loaded, what you can actually do is rename it, so it's much easier to find that spot. So you can click F2, rename it as like Vaden's house, and then when you type that in and double click on it, it will send you straight to where the house is that you've placed. I'm not going to bother doing that, it's quite easy, I can just pop into Riverwood. Another thing I might show you how to do is actually place your either house or dungeon on the map. So all I'm going to do now, we're just going to link this to our actual home. So if we just save again, it's good to save quite regularly because you never know what's going to happen. Your machine might turn off, you can have a power cut or whatever. We just want what we've got saved. So the next thing you want to do, as you can see, the door is already there. Now that isn't actually an active door. So you can't click on that door or do anything with it. So we need one of our own doors in there basically. So we're just going to go back to doors, farmhouse. And this is where the difference is between a normal door and a load door. Now we actually want farmhouse L door 01, and that means obviously a load door. And as you can see, you get this black bit behind it, which is all you'll see when it opens, that you don't see something behind it that shouldn't be there. And you want to keep the snap grid off, and we just want to put this a little bit ahead of the door we've already got there. Otherwise when it opens, which is actually a problem with my follows back at the moment, when it opens I just see the front of the other door behind it. Just going to size that a bit, pull that down. And you just want to fit that in there. Might not be entirely straight, doesn't matter, I'm a bit picky. But that's fine, you can polish it up. Yep, doesn't really matter, just need it to work. So that door will more or less be an active door now, but it isn't linked to our house. So what you want to do, you want to double click, drag this over here. That's pretty important to keep it just somewhat on the window over there, you'll see why. And as you can see, there's a button here that says teleport. Just click teleport and leave it at that for now. What you want to do now, back into interiors, and then we want to go back to our player house. So we'll click on that, load that up. And then the next thing we want to do is just get a view on our door here. Now again, this is a door fixed to the part here, so we need to do the same again actually. We need a load door on this side. So we'll drag and drop a load door in. Make sure the black bit is at the back and not the front, that's pretty important. Floor that. Now we just want to find our box we left open. Select reference in render window. Click that. Double click on our door on this side. Click OK. And as you can see, we've now got a marker here appeared, which is yellow. I'm always turning snap on and off. You'll end up doing the same, just to put things in places. And we want to put this pointing outward here, just in front of the door. You can actually put it wherever you want. This is where the character will load when he comes in. So usually you put that in front of the door. So just make sure it's not embedded into the door or anything, make sure it's on the floor. And now you want to, what you can actually do, we can actually now quickly go between both doors by just double clicking the marker and clicking yes. And we'll actually get loaded to the other side now. There's a little problem. Sometimes you get this glitch where the house disappears, and that's quite irritating. If you can double click on the house if you know it's there, it appears again, but if you click OK, bam, it's gone. We just want to be able to see it. So if you just edit it, I've figured out that this works quite nicely. And just click obstacle there, OK, OK, and it actually just stays there, so you can see what the hell we're doing. Don't know why that happens, just another little bug with the creation kit. And again, we want to do the same here, so we want to put that down there. Now, a lot of people say that it's fine, it works, they can go in the house, they can come back out the house, and then when it comes to going in a house with a follower, the follower doesn't appear on the other side. Now, I have said in my other videos, I am not going to do a tutorial on nav mesh. However, unfortunately, to get this to work properly, I am actually going to have to nav mesh this house. Now, the reason that followers don't follow you in is, one, if there's no nav mesh. Two, if there is nav mesh, there's something you have to do in front of the doorway for them to know where they have to appear. Because they won't use this marker like this. They have to use a part of the nav mesh to know where there's a door there. So that's a different part entirely. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to go back into the other side. Just check that's alright. And now we have a house. It's well lighted. We've got some objects. You can go crazy with it and put a lot more in, obviously. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to nip in game and I'm going to test it. So, yeah, I will see you in game. Okay, here we are. We are on the main menu, and what you want to do is you want to open up your console command and you want to click COC space and Riverwood, or whatever you call the place that you've placed your house, depends on how much trouble you've gone through. But you need to just get to wherever your location is. So just let that load. Now I'm just at Riverwood, so I'll skip. And as you can see, here is our house, just outside of Riverwood, right where we left it. So if we go in, as you can see, the lighting is working pretty well actually. We've got the sunlight there coming through both windows and the fireplace, and that's pretty well lit up. Got our objects here. Now the pots should actually be movable items. Yep, so they can fly about. You can get static pots so that they can't be knocked over if you want them set to the house. So yeah, that's working well. So we're just going to nip right back into the creation kit, and I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of nav meshing. I'm not going to go crazy on it, but we are going to need nav meshing for the NPCs to work. So see you back at the creation kit.